Stand by Australia, stand by TV3 in New Zealand and the world. Australia's great race ready to explode from Mount Panorama Bathurst, Sunday, September 30. And cribbing the line almost was one of the pole cars getting away. Peter Brock, a magnificent start up on the outside. Just watch Brocky go, and Seton will move into third spot. Longhust a brilliant start. Johnson a very, very poor start. And Klaus Niedzwitz is at least through the first turn. Look at the traffic, and they head up Mountain Straight for the first time. Going beneath the Corolla sign, the bridge halfway along Mountain Straight. And here they come. The jockeying for positions now, up to the right-hander at Repco. As they exit that turn and now make their way up Mountain Straight towards BP Cutting. Percy going through, Crompton going through, Niedzwitz in front, Brock second, Seton, then followed by Longhust, then the second of the ANZ cars. George Fury, a great start, and Columbine just ahead of the two V8 Commodores. The exit from BP now to the top, and Jim Richards already up there trying to pass some cars in the Nissan GTR. Across now to the top of the mountain, heading down towards Skyline. No incidents. Look at the lead so far as Niedzwitz blitzes them through there. Brock in second. Seton is your next driver, followed by Longhust. Then, of course, Gregg Hansford, moving up smartly, also the second of the Dick Johnson car. So we've had a great start.
We have. This was made in heaven for Klaus Niedzwitz, but poor Dick Johnson. I don't think he gave it enough revs at the start. The car bogged down, and he almost got hit from behind.
Exactly, and Peter Brock was away very, very smartly. Come down to Forest Elbow for the first time. The wide open spaces of Conrod Straight. The exit from that turn, the Nissan still sitting in there behind. Brancatelli runs back behind the second Johnson car. So an incident-free first lap. And as you said, Klaus Niedzwitz at this stage of the race heading down to the right-hander at Caltex Chase. A comfortable lead over Peter Brock. Great shot there of the speed and the approach shot. Also the right-hander. Just watch them jockeying for positions as they go into the right-hander at Caltex.
Somebody up there is looking after Klaus Niedzwitz at the moment. This is an enormous lead that he's built up already on the first lap, and really showing that the top 10 runoff that he just cleaned up really was no fluke.
Bruce asked earlier this morning whether or not it was a good form guide yesterday, and I said maybe. That is a great form guide because Niedzwitz has started. The fans think this is fabulous. They're watching 7 Sport, following the coverage, and they're here trackside as well.
And look at the Nissan. It's made up 2 places now since we last saw a shot of it. The Nissan is now up Parsham Franco Brancatelli and chasing after the second of the ANZ cars with Gregg Hansford at the wheel.
And there's Richards, the man we're following, the man on the move at the moment, zeroing in behind Dick Johnson as they head down Conrod Straight. Look at the speed of this car.
Freddie Gibson's done a tremendous job with this car, and they've brought the boss of Nismo in Japan over, Mr. Hioki, to come and have a look at it. He's amazed by it. He's up another spot already.
Well, who would have thought after seeing Longhust on Wednesday and Thursday that he'd be taken by 2 cars down Conrod?
They're in race trim today too, aren't they?
Absolutely. Both Richards and Johnson taking him there, and this is just an absolutely glorious start for the Nissan. They couldn't have asked for any more than this. They've got themselves into the picture.
We take our Nissan race cam, so you're riding with Jim Richards. Here he comes, making the move on Dick Johnson. To the outside, the left-hander sits up here, but he won't pass. He'll try and get him on the inside as they go through this turn, and now swing down the inside of the car. Johnson out on the ripple strip. It's Richards now grabbing another gear. Let's have a look at the horsepower. Has it got any horsepower? 600 brake, they claim, and Johnson gets the blow-by from Jimmy Richards. Richards now storming towards the leaders. The Nissan has just gone by Peter Brock in the Mobile 1 Sierra 05. Pete continues that problem of locking of brake. We've noticed that in the early laps of this race. But settling into almost conservative mode at the moment. The exit to BP Cutting.
Jeff Allen working away there in the 18 car. Pulls out of the draft, out of the slipstream, and alongside of Gregg Hansford. And that's it. Looks like he's made the place there. So Jeff Allen moves up now and takes away 6th place from Gregg Hansford.
Bondi in position number 8 at the moment, challenging Seton for 7th place. And running in behind them, looks like Larry Perkins.
Perkins, another of the movers in the Commodores. And the Commodores I believe, really will come good towards the end of the race.
Look at this fantastic view that we're bringing you, our race cam team with this special camera. Silhouette cam, we like to call it, as we hang it out the side of the Colin Bond Caltech Sierra. He's chasing Glenn Seton at the moment, putting a lot of pressure on Glenn Seton as they go across the top of the mountain. You'll see a great view here as they come up to Skyline on the concrete wall. How close would you like it? Drifting out here. Watch the movement of the front wheels. Now tucking into the left-hander. Seton gives the Sierra a dab of the brakes. At the moment, though, Jim has spread eagle the field. He's opened the gap up to 32.5 seconds. And no matter which way you look at it, that is a huge lead. Jimmy Richards, you're not hogging this race, are you?
Well, Mike, we've got to do a few brake stops, so we've got to make a little bit of a buffer so that when we come in, we can keep the time on the track open.
So Dick Johnson has 2 cars in the top 5. Johnson currently second, and this car number 18 in 5th position. So great start for Shell after a pretty ordinary start at the beginning of the day when Dick Johnson got left somewhat at the beginning when Klaus Nieswitz was away. So the number 18 car has performed very well today. It made it all the way from 13th to 3rd at one stage.
Okay, let's go to that incident, catch up what happened. The Finnegan and Leeds car. Prima Holidays replay here at Bathurst. They were running 26th on the road. Uh-oh, just out of the curve there, and the spin out of harm's way and off the racing line. Now from another angle. The cars go through the dipper, and that's where it broke loose on him. Food for thought. So, oh, dearie me, the 27 car we're just showing you has now run into an even greater spot of bother here on the racetrack. The 25 car is in the pits, and it looks like we have some problems. Tony Longhust stepping from the car. This looks very ominous. Tony Longhust, they have a major problem with the Benson and Hedges number 25 car.
Right, push it away quickly.
And here's the gap. The race leader, Mark Skaife, in the Nissan four-wheel steer number 1 car.
You can see the ground now that Grice is pulled on the Nissan. Right up onto the tail of it again.
Fantastic stuff.
The Nissan, though, just awesome down this straight.
Yeah, 620 horsepower.
Well, what's happened here?
He's pulled wide there as they went into Forest Elbow. Now, if there's no problem with the car, he'll just shoot straight past again down the straight.
Well, all Grice wants to do is lead this.
Well, he's doing it.
So the Holden Commodore comes from behind to pass the Nissan GTR for the lead. Oh, and problems for the number 20 car. It is very, very warm. The second of the B&H Sierras. Larry Perkins has had just an off moment at the end of pit straight.
Larry was trying to catch Dick Johnson there for second place.
Okay, let's have a look and see what happened here as Perkins backs on out. Oh, there's one coming from the other side of Bathurst. That's the GIO Commodore.
It's been down to the driving.
Well, they've all managed to pick themselves up. Prima Holidays bring you the replay, and this is it when the Jones number 20 car, I think, has exploded. Yes, it has. He heads off to the inside part of the racetrack, and maybe Larry got caught in what he left on the ground.
Yeah, I think it would have left more than a bit of fluid around.
That looks like the turbo has had it for the day.
John Bowe brings in the 17 car. Well, you can't see much around the car.
There's smoke all over the place. You can barely see the guy get. There's Bowe. He's got smoke in his eyes. What a tragedy for Dick Johnson. The engine sounding strong. Hello. They've got the Nissan's got a problem. Richard's slowing on Conrad. There's smoke billowing from the back of the car. And just when we were saying what a fantastic run it was having, look at this. Dearie me, there's something in the transmission's gone on that car. That sounds very, very serious.
It's all happening here at Mount Panorama. No troubles at the moment, John, for Larry Perkins in the Perkins Engineering Castrol Commodore. They've been running very, very strongly indeed. Throughout the race, Perkins, the leader, holding about a 17-second advantage over Jeff Allen and the number 18 Shell Sierra. Then a fair gap back to Allan Grice. Peter Jackson Sierra stalled on the way up to the top of the mountain. That is not the place you park at Mount Panorama, let me tell you. The exit to BP cutting, he's going to try and see if he can fire it, or he's going to reverse it into that little area. Ray Lintott, Gary Rush car going through one of the Corollas, and also I think he's overshot the area there anyway. He's trying to back in a bit. He's going to be hard in against the wall unless some of the marshals can assist. At least he's off the racing line there. Well, as you can see, back out on the racetrack again, Mark Skaife has taken over the number 1 Nissan GTR. It rejoined the race in 21st position. And I think it's certainly well and truly out of contention, but they are going to prove that this car can still run strongly. CV joint put down as the problem. And Peter Brock, just in and out of the pits, hasn't dropped a spot. Still runs 4th on the road at the moment. We've had coming together at the top of the mountain here, car number 37, which I think is one of the Callaghan cars, has whacked the wall. Yeah. Now, whether or not that'll bring out the at Forest Elbow, the exit there, Toledo Tools turn.
The situation at the lead at the moment is Perkins still leading by 25 seconds, but that's sort of negated because he still has to make a stop. The real battle for the lead is between Radisich in the 18 car and Allan Grice in the HRT Commodore, and the gap between those two is 13 seconds.
Here's our camera sitting on the wall. Pow, it just never made the turn. The car has gone straight ahead, airborne, hit the wall, and has bounced back onto the racetrack.
Grice on the way up the mountain for the 3rd last time.
You can see in the background there's the Red Sierra just coming onto the straight. So they're the length of mountain straight apart. So it'll be interesting to see over the next lap or so how close they get now.
So they might be measuring the fuel back there in the pits, but Gricey's just cranked out a 2-minute 18 lap just to let them know that they're all fair dinkum.
Yeah.
So the gap has opened up again to about 15 seconds. Lap and a half to go. Have you got enough gas, Al?
Yeah, we're looking pretty good, Mike. Anyway, it's a bit expensive to buy up here on top of the mountain.
Yes, the crew looked a little nervous with the churn out there.
Everybody's nervous with a lap and a half to go, mate. I've cut the revs back. We certainly, we've done this number of laps before today, and I'm actually running less revs, as you can see. So, quite sure we'll make it.
I think there's a nice sign coming up for you here now. What does it say?
Last lap, it's a nice little sign. There's some happy boys and sick heads up here.
Got time to give them a wave?
I'll be doing that.
Fans on top of the mountain, here he comes.
Mate, they love the Commodores.
Oh, look at them. You've made their day.
Somebody's put oil all over the road there. I only just saw it. I was a bit busy looking at the crowd. But there's oil all over the road back there. Bradley, watch out for that. Oil all the way down the mountain.
Little slippery out of there too.
Yes, well, whoever's laying the oil, if they're doing it on the last lap, I hope they make it home.
It's been great to ride with you and win, Percy, with our 7 Dulux Auto Colour race cam, Alan.
Well, it's been an absolute privilege to drive this motor car, I can assure you of that. It has the most brilliant brakes I've ever felt in a touring car. I think the boys have done a superb job to build the winning motor car.
Under the bridge, coming down to the final corner. Checkered flag time. Crowd absolutely berserk. Last turn, checkered flag. How does it feel? Tooheys champ, Allan Grice.
It's the best feeling I've had since 1986, I'm going to tell you.
Well done, son. You've driven superbly.
Thanks, Mike.